We have Marley here.
Hi, Marley. Good morning or good
Hi, how are
afternoon.
you?
Morning somewhere. I think it's morning for Johan. Johan's going to be our next speaker.
Yeah, it's not morning for me, but I think it's like morning where like maybe Vietnam. I'm pretty close. I mean, I don't know,
There
right?
you go. Australia. Yep, China, somewhere in there. Marley, is your last name pronounced Major?
Yeah, major.
Major. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, and we're super excited as we are for every speaker to talk because boosting profits, I think, is where most of us want to be. We want to be able to boost our profits fast, and if we can do it fast, and if we can use AI to make it fast, and that would be fantastic. And you give a little clue about raising prices, cutting costs, and
Yeah.
working smarter. So I have a feeling we're going to get into all of that
Oh,
in
yes.
this conversation. So let's dig in.
Great.
Yeah, so as we're getting started here, would you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how did you get started with AI before we jump into some questions here? How did you get started with AI and online space?
Sure. So I am just like a tech junkie. I have a celebrity-based catering and event planning company, which is very random to love AI, but it's called The Party Goddess based in LA. And I have had so many different business iterations and built multiple businesses from the ground up. And being an entrepreneur my whole life, it is very challenging, right? And you never have enough time and you always feel like you're just all over the place. And one of the things I just love is AI because I feel like it's the ultimate life hack kind of space. And I tried it out and then I've kind of fell in love with it and I just started getting better and better and better at it. And people would always be like, "Oh my gosh, how did you do that? How did you do that? Or how did you create that?" And it since I wrote this book called But Are You Making Any Money? To the question my dad used to always ask me, like, "Oh, that's awesome that you're doing this amazing event, but like, but are you making any money?" Because so many small business owners don't make any money. And so it's kind of the next iteration of my book is how to use AI to like cut your expenses and be more efficient and all that stuff that I already loved, but now I feel like I have like this life hack in my back pocket. So,
Oh, that's so good. And one of the first things we wanted to talk about today was talking about numbers, right? It's
yes,
like
yes,
how exactly can AI help a small business like many of us? Uh,
yes.
how can we raise our prices without scaring off our clients? I think that's one of our biggest concern is like, geez, if I raise my price, even our $37 package, if we go to
Yeah.
47, are we going to scare off
Oh, I
everybody?
know.
And that's the biggest concern. It's like it's only $10, but why are we concerned? And for some people it does, but I'd like to hear your perspective on it.
Sure. Well, you played right into my hand without knowing it. So it must be the doctor before who got us all into the same space because there's a myth that says the only way to make more money, right, is to sell more products or raise your prices, etc. But there are ways to do it. And the number one word I want everybody to take away from this or from my talk is neuroeconomics, right? And it's kind of this mashup of a word of like neuroscience and economics and basically psychology. To me, the easiest way to think about it is your brain making irrational pricing decisions. Okay. So there's a very fancy restaurant in New York that I absolutely love. And it's got a hundred something dollar steak or whatever, and this $190 raw fish platter, right? And
Mhm.
you're like, who would ever get that? Well, what neuroeconomics tells us is there's a certain percentage of the population, 13%-ish, that will always buy the highest price item, no matter what. Then there's this percentage that will always buy the lowest price item and still try to get it cheaper, no matter what. And so, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to anchor your pricing, right? You show this crazy price. Or, like if you see in Vegas around the holidays, they always say, oh, there's the $5,000 martini. Well, if you toss that out there, then all the other stuff seems like a bargain, right? So it'd be very cool for you guys to test out to say, hey, listen, if we went from 37 to 47 the way we always do it, but what about if we went from 37 to 47 and you had anchored it with something way out there like 1997, you know? And the neuroeconomics talks all about how you price the number in the middle and it's slightly bigger and you don't have dollar signs next to it and you don't have the 0.99 because our brains read it as more expensive. So there are all these ways to get to the end without actually raising your prices. But the other thing was we can also just copy the airlines, right? I mean, years ago, the airlines you used to have to call the airline and get a rate. Now everything's online. And so what happens? You're going to compare apples to apples. Like the flight from LA to New York costs this much on this airline and then on this airline. Well, it doesn't exactly now because what they did was instead of raising the ticket price, the base price from LA to New York, they just added baggage fees to the tune of billions of dollars. So it was like one extra charge, and all of a sudden they were making so much more money. Now, it's not that I love baggage fees, but I do love the strategy. And that's how we have to kind of reframe it. And that I actually have an AI prompt to show the audience, if you want, about how you can very quickly turn things around and take your original pricing and then basically be like, you know what? Give me the pricing now with neuroeconomics involved. And it's very, very cool. So let me know when you want me to do that.
Well, I mean, you lost me at baggage fees because I hate baggage fees.
Yes, but it works, right? At the end of the case. So let me
It
tell
does
you
work.
something, Bob. If you got all this feedback and everybody said, I hate, Bob, that you charged an extra $1 on this or that, but they paid, right? I mean, we're talking about people are paying. Now, guess what? There's another way you can do it. You can anchor it so that you can do the whole bundled cost. No baggage fees, no fees for this, no fees for that. But oftentimes, that's even more than the sum of its parts. But because of neuroeconomics, we just go, oh, I don't want to bother with that. So I'll just pay that higher amount.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, so what is the, well, you wanted to talk about neural economics, right? There's something you wanted to talk about in there
Well, I
to
just
add on
wanted
to this conversation.
one thing I wanted to say is just that you can raise your prices and you can use it's all about semantics. And so many times our pricing is just how we write it, right? Like literally, if we put a dollar sign in front of something, be the exact same thing. It could be your $37 example. But if you write dollar sign 37.00 or you write 37, the customer perceives that as that's so much more, the dollar sign 37.00, right? So why not just go through your coaching packages or your pages and really strip it down so that the person's eye looks at that and says, "Oh, that's it. That's inexpensive." Because sometimes it's just very small things as opposed to it isn't always the dollar amount, is what I'm trying to say. You can trick people's brains.
Got it. And so maybe writing uh because that's why they're doing, like we'll do 27 instead of $30,
Right,
right? It's
right,
because 27 seems a little more reasonable, but it's
right.
just about $30, right? And it used to be $29, but then people got savvy to that. And nobody went to eight. They went to seven for some reason. I'm not
Right,
quite sure why seven is magic.
right.
But now you're saying, hey, get rid of the dollar sign. And then
Yes.
now
Huge.
what if we put US in the back of it so people would understand it? Does that make
No way. You
no
want
way?
it as and again, it depends on your branding, whatever. Like if you have higher end branding, you're not going to want to put 7K necessarily, but really that would be the best way to write 7,000
Right.
is
Okay.
7 and the K. Because our brains, the longer it takes to literally read out the number,
Hmm.
whether it's 0.99, the higher the price it appears. And I love hacks like that. And AI is built for hacks like that, right? To take all the magic examples of it in the world and just say, hey, just say it this way and you'll make more money. I mean, that's the kind of thing I love.
Yeah. So Sharon says, yeah, 7 mil, 7M, right? For seven
Yeah. Oh,
months.
well, so I'm a 7B girl, quite frankly, but she's after my own heart. So we're getting somewhere now. Yeah, I love that.
Got
Yeah.
it. All right. So what's the number one mistake that business owners make when pricing their services, and how can AI fix it?
I would say the number one mistake is we don't have a system at all to price for profit, right? And it's natural. A lot of us, okay, we're going to be a coach, we're going to be whatever it is, we're going to be a bookkeeper, we're going to be an accountant. And you start out by saying, okay, what are my competitors charging? Great. I'll just kind of charge a little bit less than that when I'm starting out. And what you can do is you can ask AI, hey, listen, I'm just starting out, but and how should I price, or what's kind of the median price in my area. But the beautiful thing to me is that AI will then tell you how to make your pricing sound less expensive, or how to ground it in value. So the perception, because let's face it, you take brands like Chanel, or you take all these high-end brands, and you're just going, wait a second, like, is it that much better made, higher quality? Well, to a certain extent, of course, but a lot of what you're buying is the cachet of the brand. And that's something amazing that AI can help you with. And if you, and as I say, I did love the whole concept of using AI and letting it help you not make the mistakes that so many small business owners have. Because then what we do is we copy somebody else's pricing, but we never stop to say, like, what are our actual costs? And AI can really do that. You can plug in and you can say, hey, listen, I'm a caterer. I charge X amount or this amount per person for food. Can
Hmm.
you give me a list of all the cost of goods sold I should be thinking of? That is magic, because that's where most people fall apart. They think, oh, I'm a dressmaker. Here's how much the dress costs, and I'm going to double the price, right? But they get it wrong from the outset. The dress doesn't cost them this amount to make it. They forgot the packaging and the sticker and the shipping and all these other stuff, all these other components. And that's where everybody runs afoul, right? But if you can say to Chat GPT or AI, give me a list of all these things that are part of my cost of goods sold, or show me what I need to be including in my pricing, or show me how to make it look, appear more affordable, or ground it, that kind of thing. That's the best way to use it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Can you give us an example of a prompt that you
Yeah.
might use to ask ChatGPT
Yeah.
about the neuroscience and the
Yeah.
pricing and look at it? You know, what would a
Yeah.
prompt?
Okay. So I'm going to give you, can I share my screen?
You sure can.
Okay. Give me one sec. Now, this is, of course, very risky to do without my glasses, but I'm going to try it.
Or you can borrow mine.
I'm going to try it anyway. Okay, hold on a sec. All right, let's see. Okay, so here we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to put in this chat. Create a pricing page for a coaching package using neuroeconomics and real world pricing, right? So I wanted to say kind of what's going on in the market, but I want this to supersize it.
Now, quick question before you
Yeah.
go on, and you've already started, which is fine. I'll often ask it, do you know what neuroeconomics is? So I know it's on the same page, and then it gives me the definition. Do you ever do that, or are you just assuming that it's good and it's kind of a common enough term so it knows?
It depends. If I'm thinking clearly, I will probably ask it what it knows. In fact, I did do that actually before this, because I wanted to know, wait a second, what does it think it is? And what was crazy is I've done a lot of research on neuroeconomics, and what it did, it came back with such amazing data and detail, and like how to script things. It gave me tons of ideas. And I thought, I
So
mean, kind
good.
of like I have my PhD in neuroeconomics,
Right.
but look at what it came up with. I mean, first of all, I love that it took out the dollar signs, right? Now, again, it's probably got the 5,000, all those zeros, but you notice what it doesn't have. It doesn't have a comma, because a comma is another digit that your brain is reading. So then you go down and it's like, here's what you're going to get. And then, but see where it says things like best value. There's a reason you will see so many times in advertising that it'll say best value. And you might be like, well, duh. I mean, it's the best value. Okay, whatever. You can see that. But when it's placed in the middle and it's got a couple of those extra words, that's the difference between everybody going, oh, we want that. And but this $5,000 price here is significantly higher, right? It's more than double. But what this is telling anybody who's going to go for coaching is, hey, listen, this is you thought that was expensive. Well, okay, now we're back in the ball game, and this all of a sudden feels inexpensive. Then you scroll down, and the best part I love is when it tells you like the neuroeconomic triggers at work. Now, what I do with my chat GPT is I've kind of front loaded it, right? in the very beginning when I started it, I always like, it gives you those things to tell us how you like to receive information or whatever, right? In your settings. And I would always say, hey, I have bad ADHD. I'm an entrepreneur. I love, but I need you to always spell everything out to me in bullet points. And I think my magic phrase, which is always done well for me, is explain it to me like a chef is teaching somebody how to cook who has never cooked before. So, like if you had a recipe, you would say 2 tablespoons of this, blah. And then I also say, and also include what I should have asked you about that I didn't even think of. And those two things alone just return such amazing prompts. But if you see this piece here, neuroeconomics triggers at work, and you see anchoring and the decoy effect and scarcity and exclusivity, you could just extrapolate some of this, like just the anchoring, or say, oh, tell me more about the decoy effect. Or, hey, I like this part, but can you anchor this so that it's more like Joe Blow's coaching pricing, And I love the rabbit holes, the good rabbit holes that you can go down if you really are picking apart what it shows you.
Yeah, yeah, this is really good. And do you find anybody gets confused when they say 2000 or 5000 that it's like they don't realize it's dollars? Or do you put maybe at the top that, hey, all numbers are in dollars or anything like
I
that?
think that would be number one. I think that'd be a great thing to do. Number two, I think you can address it across the board, right, in your FAQs. And that's amazing because then you don't have to worry about it. But the other thing too is that let's not forget about the key thing, which is like to me, A/B testing is magic. Well, AI is like A/B testing on crack on steroids to the nth degree, right? It starts you with, hey, here's all the A/B testing in the universe AI has done, and let's
Mhm.
start with that. But what I would do is put up both of those pages or put up both of the email copy and run it and see. And if your numbers are drastically different, then obviously change it. Because remember something, it also depends on your audience. If you are running something, let's say in Canada to an American audience, you're going to have to pay attention to that. For that audience, you might have to say Canadian dollars or US dollars. So it's not like it's 100% foolproof. But what I always do, even with my A/B testing, is I will come back in then and I will say, hey, I put in this pricing, blah, 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 because you told me to. And guess what? They're all getting confused. I'm getting all these emails about, is it US dollars or how do I write that into my sales copy? So with your question, I would go right back in and say, give me some data on that.
Mhm.
How do most people assume it's US dollars, et cetera?
Yeah, that's great. So a part of the title here is working smarter.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first got started, I did an AI summit, and
Yeah.
everybody's doing their summits at 47 bucks. So of
Right.
course, I'm doing it at 47 bucks.
Right.
And I made my first money online, and I did my second summit. I did it at 47 bucks. Made money on online with that one too.
Yep.
And then I saw another lady who had an AI summit. She had just gotten started as well, and
Yeah.
she had 3 times the sales I did. And I looked at her. I've seen her interviews. I go, these are not very good, right? In other words, she's like reading the
Oh God.
intro, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is boring, right? To listen
Yeah.
to people read the intro,
Yeah.
and then I saw her page. I go, mine's a little better. I go, why am I making a third the amount? And then I
Right.
asked, what are you charging for it? She goes, I'm charging 27 bucks. I go, 27 bucks, and did the math. I go, that's 3 times more sales, and and
Yeah.
um and double my
Right.
income, right?
Right.
And I get more people that can actually afford my product. So
Well,
so
let me
is
give you
that
an
the example of
example.
working smarter?
Of
Or
course, but let's go back to really basic things that we all know.
Mhm.
The grocery store advertises the milk and the butter or whatever, and they might be their loss leaders, knowing you're going to go into the market. You are not going to only leave with milk or butter, right? They want you in the store. So she was very smart. And probably because let's say she was, new to the game. So people didn't know her. They didn't have the three know, like, and trust. So she went in with something low And I would venture to say, I mean, assuming she ultimately delivered after reading the script, and it sounds sort of challenging, but assuming she did deliver and was worth following, it probably really continued to work because she made that barrier to entry so low. So about being more efficient, the other thing is using AI to, no matter what you have, to make it better. Because like there's this whole concept about Six Sigma, right? And how just making these little tiny tweaks makes you so much more money, makes something faster, more efficient. There's a reason why I never go to the grocery store. First of all, because I would buy everything under the sun and I'm always hungry. But the other reason is because I get my hourly rate. So I know that, hey, listen, I'm going to call Verizon or some, you know, regular vendor I have. And I literally do this and it works every single time. And I'll say, "Hey, I've been with you forever. Do you have any specials going on? Do you have any blah blah blah?" Because I'm thinking of switching to, AT&T or whoever it is. Well, their acquisition cost is so high, they do not want to lose you. So they are going to freak out, okay? And they're going to be like, "Oh, so I'm like, do you have a special? Like, give me something to keep me involved here." And when I say it has never not worked, I mean never. It has worked every single time. Well, let's say that's a 15-minute phone call and I get 20 bucks off a month. 20 bucks off a month times 12 is $240 a year, right? Well, now let me take that hourly rate. That's $960 an hour, right? If you take two for 15 minutes, a quarter of an hour. How many activities can any of us do that are going to make us $960 an hour? Maybe you doing, the AI summit piece. But it's all about taking those activities that we do and all those low activities that we hate to do, like invoicing, all this other stuff, and substituting them with our highest level activities. That's really how you make more money. And that's also how you like don't burn out as much because you're actually enjoying your business.
Got it. Got it. And so we were talking about the words that we write out when you see it on a page, you get rid
Right.
of the dollar sign.
Right.
What about when you're talking? Like we're offering our VIP for $37. Should
Right.
we be saying it's only 37 today? Get rid of dollars? Or is
Um,
that different when it's spoken?
well, that is an amazing thing. I'd love to like have a whole sidebar AI conversation about like how would that affect. But here's the thing, we know that so much of what we communicate is not just the words coming out of our mouths, right? So what would be the really interesting supersize is if you said it like with a smile or you said it with, but what I would say is if you're talking to somebody, you go really low to get them hooked. Like something even crazy, try like for a buck. Now maybe they're not going to get the whole thing, but somebody's going to go a dollar. I can't get anything for a dollar, right? And they're going to check it out. But you guys are good salespeople, so you're going to supersize them the whole way. You're going to be like, "Oh, but you want this, but you want this," because remember, in the beginning, it's about getting them in the door. It's about getting them into your funnel. And to me, that's the fun part is play with getting them in with something that's kind of crazy just to stand out. Like, well, why is this guy $97? Or why is he 17? And just get the interest. And then, of course, you provide great content, so you're going to keep them. But it's a little bit like just, kind of attracting the bees.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so weird how this works because you work with one person or you work with another person or if you even think to yourself how you buy, but
Mhm.
then you try it online
Right.
with masses of
Yeah.
people and it's a whole different ball game. It's like,
Oh,
why are you
a
doing
whole
this?
different ballgame. But that's where I think AI is so magical because
Yeah.
AI is out there getting smarter and smarter every day, right? And it's out there trolling all the pages of coaches and whoever your target audience is. And I think when you can really drill down and you can say, "Here are my numbers, and should I have changed my sales page?" But maybe you say, what should I be asking you? Should I be asking you something about my target audience? Maybe I need to change completely where I advertise, right? Or maybe
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to network more, or like what are the questions AI that you can ask me to start going down a different path because I'm not getting the results that I want, like that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it sounds like the first question is what do you understand neuroeconomics to be?
Mhm.
And it's going to tell you all this stuff and you'll have questions about everything and just
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Just go down the rabbit.
but here's the thing. You can start really small. You can start with your like, what's decoy pricing, right? Or you can start with what's anchoring or why taking a dollar sign out. And you go down these interesting paths, but it's it goes really well with AI because it's you're not doing more work, right? In fact, you're doing less and you're just being very strategic about it. And that's why I think, it's the old E-Myth revisited thing about
Mm.
working on your business instead of in it. You can't just be that person baking pies all the time. You've got to be the person who sits back and says, I'm going to work on my business for X amount of time.
Hmm.
And then that's when you come up with the ideas to next level your business.
I love
Boy,
this.
if Michael Gerber's still around.
Michael Gerber, God bless him. I don't know if he is or not, but I'd like to meet the ghost of him when he passes.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, this was a exciting conversation. Tell us about your free gift.
Yeah, so one of the first books I wrote was called But Are You Making Any Money? Because my dad is an amazing entrepreneur, but was not interested in all my glamorous lifestyle stories if I wasn't making any money. So my free gift is actually a copy of the book. So all you have to do is go to the link that you guys are going to put together.
Yep.
And there you go. You get it. I've never done that before, but I thought it's really good. And for those people out there who want like a step-by-step guide to kind of fixing this stuff,
Yep.
listen, if I can figure it out, anybody can. So I think it's very cool.
You got a picture of your dad on there?
I do not. I have a picture of my dad everywhere. I got a picture of me with a buzzing bee, and that's because everybody's so busy. Like, and you're like, okay, is your house paid for? Like, you must have no mortgage, no debt, no nothing, right? Because everybody's so
Yeah.
busy. And I'm like, busy doing what?
All right, scale of 1 to 10, and where does Marley land in her presentation today? I thought it was rocked. I thought
Yeah,
you're
definitely
plus
10.
plus.
10, 10,
Yeah,
10.
10 over
Thank
the top. And I love
Yeah,
this
you're getting,
conversation.
oh my
It's
goodness,
like,
100,000. And
Oh, yay. I love that. Oh, and somebody's so sweet because maybe somebody could write a dollar sign 100,000 or write out the word 100,000. It feel really big and meaty, right?
you
So
got
wow.
I'll see you guys
10
later. Send me your Venmo.
Ah.
I appreciate it. Right? I mean, that should be my freaking hey, Venmo man. Like I'll have you give great testimonials. But I really enjoyed this and I really appreciate the opportunity. I think it's so great to just get in the weeds and
Yeah,
just like help other business owners out. And that's what it's all about. So
my goodness, this is so great. All right, so we people have the free gift. It's in the chat. If you're listening to the recording, you'll see it below.
yep.
And this is just something that was just so delightful. Oh my goodness, I love the psychology piece, and people are putting in like 100B, 20 like
Yay! I love that. The bee. Thank you.
99.99 Bob
Oh,
Drinker.
see, now we know they listen. Like, isn't this amazing, you guys? Now we know
learning.
they
We're
are
learning.
paying attention. That's the
Oh my,
best gift,
oh my,
right?
yes, they are listening. All right, good job, all of you. That was good. So, all right, Marley, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great. Have a great rest of the day with the speakers. You guys are crushing it. I've been
Yeah,
watching.
if you can stick around, there might be some questions in the chat. If you got chat questions for Marley, she'll hopefully be around for another 5, 10 minutes. You can have
Yeah,
her, and maybe
yeah.
longer because she's going to be totally immersed in understanding what Johan has to present here in a second. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
All right.
all
Thank you
right,
guys.
so
You.
you're welcome. Thank
I'll stick
you,
around.
and
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
all for
And you
being part
could,
of this.
yeah, and you can write to Marley personally too if you see in the chat. That's cool too, because she just said she'll stick around. So
I'll
Bob.
stick around. I'm going to mute myself, but I'll stick around.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.
Got
Thank
it.
you.
All right. So we're going to keep on going, everybody. So you're going to want to continue to stay. Bob, has this been exciting or what? I mean, all
Yeah,
these things
super
so
exciting.
different on AI. Oh my goodness.
I can feel myself getting tired, but my mind is like my body's like "Ugh, I need a nap. My mind's like, oh, let's go 10 more. Uh, so let's go 10 more, or at least one more.
All
Uh,
right, let's keep
so
on
before we
going.
do, remember if you haven't got it yet, we're running out of time because after Johan, you'll have a few minutes to get the $37 VIP. And actually, it's not even $37 anymore. It's just 37. We're learning, Marley. So grab that. We're going to drop a link in the chat, and we'd love your feedback too. If you think, geez, this is still too expensive, let us know that. I mean, and if it's like way underpriced and this is a great deal, let us know that too, because we'd love to get your feedback on that. We think it's amazing price because it's like $1 per interview, plus the bonuses that we give, the 2025 top AI tools, the workshop on how to be more productive, and all the free gifts of the speakers. Just alone, you get Marley's book and courses and checklists and videos and all sorts of crazy stuff that helps you with AI. So this is really good stuff.
Yeah. And
Um,
then also, Bob, do you want to explain the difference between that and the other one in case
oh yeah, yeah, and that VIP is just the summit, right? The other piece is the implementation sessions, which is $97.
no,
And again, right,
97, Bob,
I'm sorry,
97.
it's hard to break an old habit.
Oh my
It's
goodness. We're gonna have so much fun with this.
And it's the implementation sessions, right? So if you're ready to implement AI, we have made this, we want to implement AI too. When we created this, this is where we were, and that's the intention. It's like if it's going to work for us, it's going to work for you. And this is where you want to go with this. And it's all the tools that we showed you earlier. And we'll drop a link for that right now. It's only 97.
Good job. Oh,
So there you go.